Do you guys hear it? It's storming in our place right now, so I'm sorry if you can hear the rain or aggressive wind. I cannot do anything about that, so let's just bear with it together. So here's the part 2 for that strawberry concept art video. In that previous video, if you didn't watch it, I mentioned that I was disappointed that I didn't explore more ideas. Like, I didn't put any effort to further the design. Like, I didn't do any effort to put more details on the design. Like, all I did was surface level design on the strawberry. Heck, I didn't even try other fruits. I did attempt on a banana character, but and again, I didn't have time for it. So I'm blaming time and events, especially unfortunate events, that this strawberry came out as generic as possible. Which is okay. It's not a biggest crime in the world. It's not illegal to make something generic. But as for me, I just wish I could have done more than what I have today. But you know what? We're just gonna appreciate what we have right now, okay? We're not gonna complain further. So yeah. Actually, I lied. I think I'm gonna complain. Complain. I lied. I'm gonna complain further because there's one thing that I need to address that kind of bothers me. So for the girl strawberry character, I've only managed to make three different designs. One bubbly one angsty one, and one kind of chill one, I guess. And I did mention that I really, really love the second one. However, as you can see in the speed paint, obviously I didn't pick the second one. And why is that? Mary, I thought you liked the second one. Here, I'm gonna explain why. Because something with the first design that I really, really am attached to. This is the reason. This is absolutely very wrong. As a concept artist, you need to avoid as much as possible to get attached on your first design, because who knows, the other designs that you will come up after that will be better than it. I have mentioned this in my previous video, but I firmly believe that your first idea is not your best idea. There's so many reasons as to why that's the case. Like, for example, when you're gonna do something, your first idea, and especially if it's your first time doing it, you're going to have a lot of mistakes. A ton of mistakes even. So the best way to know if your design is good is to make another design. In that second design, you're going to create ideas that you did not able to generate on the first one. So if you like the second design, then good, you can continue from there. I highly encourage you to do that, not just for the sake of your art, but just for the sake of having fun. Personally, I find it so much fun when I just brainstorm, do a lot of concept art for this certain character design, and then I finalize it, and then I see the behind the scene, the process that gets to that point. It's just more beautiful rather than just, okay, I did a character design, I'm done, I'm not doing anything else. Nothing is wrong with that, but really, I believe you can do more. You just put a little bit more effort. The only downside of doing more concept art, doing more design, exploring more ideas is that you need more time to do that. That's the only enemy for that. Is that it's just time consuming, but it is more fun and more healthier for your art. Again, I just want to highlight this so much because I feel like someone is gonna get butthurt by this one. Nothing is wrong if you just did a one character design and went with it, okay? That's not a crime. It's not illegal. That's exactly what I did in this video. Despite doing a few more character strawberry designs, I still went back to the first one because I am too attached. The only reason why I'm very disappointed at myself, because I know deep down in my heart that I could do more, that I can explore more. And especially, I aspire to be a concept artist. So for me, doing a one-off character design and just choosing that one kind of hurts. It's really disappointing for me because that's what I value. I value myself as a concept artist. I value my art to do more than what I can do right now. So that's why I'm disappointed. But if that's not a huge issue to you, that's good. That's really, really good. More power to you. So, okay, it's time to explain what's going on in this art. So, up until now, I still haven't decided what names I should give the twins. So, yeah, I decided to make two characters instead of one. I wanted to make a boy character because I really love that trope of having a twin character, something like that. Anyway, I decided that just to make a simple character pose, because since this is a character design challenge, we don't want to do any crazy perspective that will cover the design. So I just went with a flat pose. As long as it showcases their personality, then I'm fine with it. So I did put a little bit of backgrounds to just, put something a bit interesting. So they are sitting in the window. I really love this kind of art where there's a character peeking out the window. Obviously, this is not peeking out the window. They're literally standing and sitting like outside the window. I don't know how that makes sense, but we're going with that. So yeah, I love characters that peeks out the window and the window has like different design. I would definitely do a lot of that. I'm actually thinking of making a fan art of One Piece, like each of the Straw Hat crew picking out the windows, and the design of the windows is dependent on the personality of the Straw Hat. So yeah, basically that's it. I'm gonna do it when I'm ready to do it. Oh my goodness, what is going on with my art? Why is this flashing so fast? What's going on? What am I doing in this part? I don't know. I don't remember. Don't ask me. Don't ask me as well. I don't know. Okay, calm down. Okay. Okay, I just want to check something. Can you hear my father singing? Oh my gosh, he then decided to do karaoke at this time of all time. Oh my goodness. Anyway, time for coloring. This is not my favorite art process in making art, but this is my favorite part of watching any art process. Does that make sense? I don't know. I find it very satisfying to watch it in this way, where you can see my hand and just see the color process just progress over time. So back in the old days when I was still fairly new at digital art, specifically new at Procreate, yeah, I think that was Procreate, the way I color my character was far different from what I'm doing right now. So before, I usually just sketch, line art, and then use the paint bucket tool. Okay? The reason why I use the paint bucket tool is because it's way faster that way. For me, it's just quicker to color the art, just like dragging or just tapping the characters and then boom, there's colors already. For me, that's really magical. It's just way faster than traditional coloring, like you just have to move your hands strokingly. I find it really tedious and my wrist gets really hurt. So when I found out that there's a shortcut of coloring anything in digital art, I just went with it straight away. I went the paint bucket tool. As long as the line art is good, then I'm good with the paint bucket tool. The good news is I love line art, so that's not a huge problem to me. But over time, as I continue with that process, with that paint bucket tool thing, I start to find my coloring process very boring. I'm starting to hate coloring because it's just redundant. It's like it's not as satisfying as it used to when you were coloring in traditional art. Sure, when you're doing traditional art, it's more time consuming, but it's more this enjoyment when you're just stroking every colors on your paper. It's more exciting that way. Not only that the process is starting to look boring, my art started to look boring as well. I start to hate that digital art look. What I mean by that is that it starts to look so clean. Like it's too clean for my taste. Like it's getting too plain, too bland. And by the way, this is not a diss if this is your art style. This is just for me personally, because I am a huge fan of like children's storybook style, that kind of texture. I love that texture. I miss that texture that I used to have in traditional art. So I'm like, dang, I feel like I want that effect, but I don't want to leave my digital art because it's more convenient that way. I love how portable it is. I love how the materials is just right at the palm of your hands. Hold on, let me take a moment here. Don't worry, this isn't a sponsored video, although I wish it kinda is. But I just want to explain real quickly that this channel is not just for me, but all of the artists that need some support. One of the goals in this channel is to help lift up other struggling artists. I'm gonna try and do this in every video, if not then other videos. So yeah, if you are an artist and you need some exposure or something, just hit me up. That's why I just prefer doing digital. But maybe I can do that effect on the digital, you know? But there is a huge part of me that is holding me back because the reason why I converted to digital art because it saves more time, like a lot more time compared when I do the traditional art. So if I start to color in digital art the way I color in traditional art, then it will kind of defeat the purpose of saving time. That's the reason why I fell in love with the paint bucket tool in the first place because it just colors everything right from the get-go. So for me, if I manually color in digital art, it kind of does not make sense. I am very conflicted. I'm like, that's the reason why I did digital art in the first place. Then I'm just gonna go back the way I color in traditional art. It's like, that does not make no sense. But then I asked myself, do I really love that texture coloring style? And I'm like, I really love it. I really love that kind of style. So if I want that effect on my art, then I have no choice but to manually color that way, just like in traditional. So I bought myself a watercolor brush set and practice. Now, you might be asking, is it really necessary to manually color in digital just to get that traditional effect? Yes, it's really necessary because the watercolor, for example, the watercolor brush, you cannot give the full effect, or you cannot create a full watercolor effect if you just use the paint bucket tool. You really have to stroke manually to create that watercolor effect. That ain't gonna work with just a paint bucket tool. You have to put on the effort to do that. Okay, my tablet is slow, but I have to record later on. I'll see you later. So a day has gone by. I didn't record yesterday, but well, it's better than never, you know? It's better late than never. So what was I talking about? I was talking about the watercolor thing. Maybe I will release a full video, like a tutorial or a demonstration of how I do a watercolor effect on my art. Because I don't know if I've mentioned this, I really love it, okay? It's very satisfying to see, although it is time consuming than I, preferred. But it's more worth it. It's worth the work and time, and I just enjoyed the outcome better than my previous art style. Okay, let's talk about the character for a bit. For the longest time, I didn't give her and her brother a name because I couldn't think of anything that would fit for them. But now I think I have found the perfect one. I know it's pretty generic, but it's the only name that I feel like it fits better for them. So for the girl, I'm gonna give her the name Poppy. I know, very original because she's so poppy and so happy. And for the guy's name, I'm gonna name him Taro. So it's gonna be Poppy and Taro. So about Poppy, obviously she's the most happy-go-lucky one. She's more carefree, more positive, as you can see in her expression. But despite her being jolly and hyper, she's the most organized one from the twins. The moment she wakes up in the morning, she's gonna do her bed very happily with a big smile in her face, just smiling throughout the process. She also takes care of her brother's, room as well, organizing it for him because I decided to make the opposite. If she's organized, then her brother is a mess. His stuff is just everywhere. Like you can even see a banana under his bed, and his sister will be like, "What are you doing, Taro? Why you're not picking up this mess?" That's the thing with Poppy. She's not gonna get easily be upset with you. It will take like a whole meteor to fall down until she finally gets mad. She prefers talking things through rather than to lash out and just shout at people. She finds that really mean and rude, and she feels like it's not gonna go anywhere if you use intense emotion to fix something. You're trying to fix something, so you have to do it more in a calm and more positive manner, because if you just get angry out of it, it's just not gonna fix. That's what she believes. It's just going to add more problems to the already existing problem. Yeah, so because of that, even though she loves to have fun, she can be carefree, but out of the twins, she's the most responsible one. She's also the one who is handling their schedules, their to-do list. She makes sure that every task is done for the day. Of course, it's not always rainbow and sunshine with her. She also have her flaws, and she does get stressed out like often, but she makes sure she doesn't want to show that to people, especially her twin brother. She hides it away. She goes to the bathroom and cry inside. She doesn't like it when people see her crumbles down. You know what I mean? Okay, so that's Poppy. Let's talk about Taro next. Okay, what's going on with him? Why is he looking so grumpy? Well, first of all, he's edgy. He's more on the silent side. Heck, he only say a few words a day. He won't even talk to you unless it's very important. Like, unless it's life or death situation, he's not gonna bat an eye on you. Like, really. The only person that he will talk to or initiate a conversation is his twin sister. Poppy made sure that they won't grow apart because she did notice that at some point her brother is trying to push away people, including her. And she was like, "No, I don't want this. I don't want this kind of relationship with my sibling. I wanna be closer to him." So she did her best to be close with him, to talk to him as much as possible, to comfort him when he needed to. Now you might be asking a question, why is Taro like this? Why is he so grumpy? Why is he so salty? It's because of their parents, mostly their mother. Because the mom only expects a baby girl. She didn't know at the time that she had a twin, so she only prepares for the baby girl. But when she found out she's having a twin, you would expect that she would be happy, but no, she was more of disappointed because she wanted to only to take care of one child rather than two. She's only planning to have one child. For her, bearing two children is already too great. The responsibility is too massive. So when Poppy and Taro came out, she only paid attention to Poppy. Ironically, Taro is 5 minutes older, so he's technically the oldest sibling, but even despite that, she didn't pay no attention to him. And whenever there's unfortunate things happening in their household, she always blamed Taro, even though he doesn't do anything. "Taro, what are you doing? Why is this sink clogged? Did you do this? Why would you do this?" And he was like, so he just have this confused face, and I'm like, "Mom, I didn't do that." "But you did." When Poppy realized that her mom has favoritism, she did her best to take care of Taro herself. She did try to talk to her mom, like, "Mom, don't do this favorite thing. My brother is also your son. You should take care of him as much as how you take care of me." But their mother is stubborn. So Poppy was like, "You know what? I cannot do anything about our mom, so I'm just gonna do what I can to give love for my twin brother." Despite Taro acting cold and more aloof, if you take more time to get to know him or spend more time with him, especially a good quality one, he will start to show his sweeter side. He will start to be more open and to tell more about his experience. Like the one time he went fishing with his uncle and their boat fell on the water, something like that. Like I mentioned before, he is more of a mess. He doesn't care if his room is very all over the place, his paper scattered down the floor, mainly because he has no motivation to do anything like that. So I really did made them opposite. Like his sister is the one taking care of his junk. And she doesn't mind, she knows and she understands the state of her brother, and she made sure that she's not gonna treat him very cruelly as her mom. So that's the little story concept for this strawberry characters. I don't know why I went too in depth. This is just literally just a character challenge for Huyon, and I just went all out on the characterization of this character. And of course, I lost the contest. But I have fun. I have fun making these characters. Like I said, I really fell in love with the theme. It's simple, but it's fun. I wish I could have done more though, like I mentioned before. I'm not gonna mention it again here, but I am disappointed that I only choose the first design. You know what? Looking at the art right now, I think the brown window isn't that bad. I thought it was so horrendous, but it's not so bad. But it's fine. The white windows still stand out because I wanted the characters to pop more. I feel like the brown is taking too much of that. So yeah. So yeah, here is the final result. Thank you so much if you made it this far. And despite everything I said about this art, I really do love the final result. So yeah, thank you, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.